Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Are you living your ideal life? It's a practice that a lot of people are into that are successful to envision your ideal life. Use your powers of fantasy and create your perfect version, the ideal version of the perfect life that you could possibly imagine. What would it be? Let your imagination go wild. Stay within reason. I mean, you don't want to create Harry Potter shit. Stay within the planet Earth and with the realm of the plane of existence that we're in. It's fantasy, but be somewhat realistic. If you want to be a millionaire, put that on your list. Create your vision as a millionaire. Whatever that means to you. If you want to own lots of properties, put that on there. Whatever it is. And formulate that vision so it's crystal clear. You can do this as a practice for 20 minutes a day, like a meditation. You can start your day off doing this. Sit down and maybe when you're in the shower or when you're on the toilet, to whenever you have some time. And run through that fantasy to create that life. Imagine what it would feel like to be in the house that you wish that you had, to live in the neighborhood that you wish you had. What are your neighbors going to be like? What would their names be? What do your neighbors do for a living? Will they send you a Christmas card, every year? Or will you hang out with them? What's your ideal job? What are your coworkers like? What is your boss like? How much money do you make? What kind of car do you drive? Are you enlightened or not? Are you happy? Imagine everything. Is your fridge full of food? Imagine the entire package deal. Sight, smell, sound, and don't leave any detail out. Cover all your senses. And practice that every day. That world that you're creating will become clearer and clearer. And there's your goal for your life. That's your life goal. There you go. You can start making a list. You can start putting things to get closer to that ideal life, to that vision that you've created. You can make little steps every day. It'll be fun. You'll have an incredible good time doing this. And every day you can just make little moves, little secret moves. People don't have to know. You'll slowly transform into this vision that you've created. You'll get closer and closer to it with every little step that you make. If you don't have a vision for your life, where's your life really going? When you're aiming a rifle, I mean, you don't put a blindfold on your head and and just wave it around. You're looking through the sights at a specific target. If you got money, you get yourself a nice big fat scope. Oh, having a good scope on a rifle is so beautiful. Of course, you got to remember to dial your fucking sights in, right? You can't just toss it on. I know people who have done that before. And their shots are always going off to the right. They don't understand that you got to sink the two in. But once you have a dialed in rifle, oh, it's beautiful. What you point at, you hit. What you see through through that little viewfinder of your scope, you hit. What's far away becomes close. I mean, it's great. You feel like an expert shot all of a sudden. So it's really good to have a defined vision before venturing into a journey. I do this type of fantasizing, visualization technique when I'm starting a business, for example. I'll imagine every aspect of that business. I'll imagine myself waking up every day, driving to an ideal location, unlocking the door, maybe saying hi to the neighbor who owns the business next door, parking in my perfect parking spot designated for the boss, going inside, flipping the lights on and feeling that satisfaction of this is my dream coming true, and the excitement of the day of how much money I'm going to make, how many people I'm going to meet, the good that I'm going to do. You form this vision into such a solid ball to where it's happening every day. You experience it happening before it's happened. And when you're doing it, it's like you've already done it. I've already done this once. It's not the first time because I've already imagined every single one of these steps. I've already lived in this world. This is familiar to me. I've been here before. It's just a little trick with goal acquisition is to be able to visualize your destination. It makes the steps along the way a lot easier. It's one thing to be able to visualize the goal, even if it's just fuzzy. A lot of people have an idea. I want to drink Mai Tais on the beach. But when you really create that fantasy and you get into that world, you've created it of how you got to the beach, which beach, what kind of chair are you lying in? What is your hotel room or living quarters like? I mean, did you get there on a private jet? Who's flying the jet? You create this fantasy world, and then all of a sudden, when you actually start thinking about how do I achieve that goal, you realize, okay, well, I've already thought this through forwards and backwards so many times and created this world. The steps are obvious. Give it a shot. Try it on a regular basis. It's not going to hurt you. The powers of visualization are key to your success. You have these powers. Use them for your advantage. You have to be able to visualize your goal. In the video here, but I used to know this guy, Dominic. Dominic was a mob guy from the Bronx, the West Bronx, the Italian section of the Bronx. Much older than me, kind of a dick, but he was a major player. I have a whole other story I should tell about Dominic. Now that I just brought him up, it's just flooding back the memories. I went with him one day out to the Bronx to go visit his mom. And we stayed overnight, and it was such a crazy fucking journey. So I'll make another video about that story, me and Dominic in the Bronx. But he used to have this interesting trick. See, Dominic liked to eat out a lot, and he had lots of money. And he would always pick these restaurants, little Italian restaurants, very expensive. Of course, he was always paying. And he would always get a parking space out front. Always, always. Always get the perfect spot right out front. And I asked him one time, and I was like, how do you do this, man? Every time we go out to eat, it's one of these crazy fucking expensive restaurants, valet parking and fucking fancy red carpets and shit, you know? And you never valet park. You just find a spot. You're just so lucky. How do you get so lucky to find that spot out front every time? And he's like, oh, I visualize it. Every single time I go out, I visualize having the perfect parking space, and I also visualize having the perfect table. And every single time I go out, I get the perfect parking space and I get my table. He had to have what was called the power table. That's kind of a funny thing, but there's the power seat in the room, and it's in the corner. You have to be able to get the view, no windows behind you so nobody can sneak up on you, you know. But it just goes to show you the powers of visualization. You can really create your world by connecting with that other realm, that fantasy realm that we think that just kids should be playing in. You have that ability, those powers. So start using them. Thanks for watching.